Do you like pizza? It's without a doubt one of my favorite foods. Well, I'm going to introduce you to a man that lives and loves pizza and wants to share his love of pizza with you. We're going to go to San Francisco's North Beach to Tony's Pizza Napoletana on this episode of the Attitude Adjustment Hour. Hey everybody, Dennis Cruz here. Growing up in San Francisco, it's one of the great food towns in the world, and I had access to some killer pizza as far as I was concerned. Some of my favorites were Little Joe's out in the Excelsior district where I grew up, Pasquale's in the Sunset near the Fleischacker Zoo, and Gaspari's is out in the Richmond district on Geary. And of course you'd expect to find some really good pizza in North Beach. Tommaso's on Kearny near Broadway. It's been around for years. Owned by the Crotty family. Their cousin Frankie was the best man at my wedding. I went to high school with him. And on one corner of Washington Square Park, you have arguably the best focaccia made. This place is Liguria Bakery. It's been around forever, and they make one thing basically, focaccia, or as we call it, fagazza. They have plain, drizzled with olive oil. They have a raisin one, an onion one, and the best, oh my God, the fagazza pizza. It's topped with tomato sauce, green onions, and olive oil. It's greasy. It is so good. They'll cut it up and wrap it in a brown paper sack for you. I defy you to get home without grabbing a piece out of the sack and just munching it. But there's no style of pizza immediately identifiable with San Francisco, like in New York or Naples or in Chicago. But one man is making it his personal mission to bring virtually every style of pizza to one location. The restaurant is Tony's Pizza Napoletana at the corner of Stockton and Union Streets in the heart of North Beach. It's kitty corner to Washington Square Park. I got a chance to talk to Tony outside his restaurant in the city, right there at the corner of Union and Stockton, and he told me about the beginnings of his passion for pizza pie.
Name's Tony Gimignani, and I am the owner of Tony's Pizza Napoletana in San Francisco and North Beach. Tony's Pizza Napoletana was something I always wanted to do. You know, when I came into the business about 20 years ago, my brother and I got into it, and you know, we knew a little bit about pizza, but from what I know now, from what I know then, you know, it's progressed, and most of it's been through the traveling. So to be able to put a new restaurant / pizzeria and bring it up to a level, I thought, you know, the perfect place would be Little Italy in, you know, San Francisco.
Now, coming from an Italian family, Tony learned how to make a quality pizza.
Oh, I started Paisano's Pizzeria back in 1991. It's in Castro Valley. Okay. Yeah, Castro Valley, California. And, you know, my brother and I was 18, he was 22. He got me into the business. I was getting out of high school, had no clue what I was going to do. You know, coming from an Italian, Portuguese, Spanish family, you know, my mom cooked, you know, it was always a staple in our house. So it wasn't that food wasn't new to me, but and pizza wasn't very new to me, but really to bring it up to a restaurant level, yeah, that was definitely new to me, and my brother really helped me out with that. Well, when we opened up Paisano's, he worked at a couple different pizzerias when he was younger, before he was 22, and you know, and I you know, we grew up on a farm. My grandpa was a big Italian farmer in Fremont, California. And, you know, growing up on that, being around fresh ingredients, fresh produce, we really knew how to, you know, create a pizza that that would be well liked. You know, we're used to using fresh ingredients. If my mom ran out of basil, you'd run in the backyard and go grab basil, you know. So it makes a total difference, and that artisanness, that fresh flavor, you know, that type of taste of the kitchen is what chefs call it. You know, where'd you get that at? It was my mom, my dad, my grandpa, really.
Usually a restaurant specializing in pizza, they have one particular style and they focus on that. Not at Tony's. His menu reflects the worldwide spectrum of pies. He's traveled all over the U.S. and the world to study different styles of pizza.
Studying pizza, so I would always go down south, go to the north, and just kind of watch these guys, how they do it. There's so many different styles, pizza Romana, Sicilian, you have a Neapolitan, so what I did was I studied the Neapolitan craft because that's what interests me the most. Artisanness, going back to its roots, your pizza margherita, you know?
Now, Tony's not only a scholar of the product, but he's a showman, too. You may have seen him in action on one of the major networks or on Food Network or Travel Channel. He's the 8-time world champion.
In 91 we opened. In 95 I entered this competition in Las Vegas. It was called the World Pizza Games. And guys from all over the world went to compete. I entered as a nobody. Nobody knew who I was. I ended up winning my first world title in 95. I ended up winning in 96, 97, and I became this world champion pizza acrobat.
And why did he start competing?
Yeah, I mean, when you're making pizzas every day and, you're tossing pizzas every day, at Paisanos we would end up doing, when we opened 100, 200, 300, we got up to 500, 600 pies a night, and we were known for tossing pizzas. So, I would be incorporating tricks into what I did. And plus, it doesn't only, it's not just that. It's just customers are like, wow, what's this guy doing? Throwing it across the shoulders, through the legs.
It is amazing to watch him work. He's a master of the pizza toss. Watching him throw that circle of pie dough high into the sky, the dough stretches larger and larger with each toss. But is there any other reason to do this besides showing off?
Oh, there's 3 reasons why you toss pizza. 1, to get to the size that you want. 2, actually, when you're naturally building a crust, you make it thicker in the end, thicker in the middle. And actually, if you're throwing a pizza quick enough, it dries out the outer portion of the pizza, making it crunchier on the outside, and it actually traps some moisture inside. So you create a film, almost a scab on it, and it makes a very light and airy pizza in the middle, but very strong on the outside.
So Tony perfected his skill on pizza toss, and he entered competitions all over the world.
So I do that every day, got really good, entered these competitions, and I started to tour around, went to England, went to Italy. I went everywhere in Italy, all the way to the south, all the way to Sicily, northern Salsa Maggiore, Parma, Lucca. I ended up going into Italy's World Championships in 2000, 2001. I won back-to-back world titles there in acrobatics, and I was the only acrobat that was forced not to compete, which was kind of funny. I was in my prime. It sounds stupid, but I was actually the best I ever was.
And then when he was banned for winning too many times, he started a pizza team.
Yeah. So I ended up winning in the World Championships up north, and that's a big one. So I was banned from that for that was my 5th world title.
Why did they ban you?
I won too many times, okay. And they lose money if they find out. If you're going to come into the bracket and you're ranked number 1, guys won't compete. Okay. They make X amount of dollars per competitor. It's a nice compliment, but you're in the middle of your, you want to compete, you want to win, and you can't. So I had to reformat, regroup a little bit, figure out how to compete. So I ended up creating a team. They're called World Pizza Champions. They're one of the biggest teams in the world now, and when it comes to pizza, there's actually teams for competitors. There's probably about 40 teams worldwide. Team Japan, there's 3. There's teams all over Italy. My team, actually, I have some of the best guys also from England, Ireland, Australia, New York, Ohio, California, South Carolina, you name it. Almost a guy from everywhere. Jersey.
Now, Naples is widely regarded as the birthplace of pizza. The main dish they make in that seaport city is called pizza margherita.
Pizza margherita is just your standard fresh basil, fior di latte, mozzarella, either mozzarella di bufala or mozzarella fior di latte. You'd have your typical San Marzano tomatoes, but they'd have to be grown in the region of Campania region of Italy. 100% 00 flour, which would come from Naples, so like a Caputo or San Felice, which is like the Coca Pepsi of flour in Naples. And you have your natural sea salt, natural yeast, and that's it. You have a nice DOP olive oil as a finish, and you really taste the ingredients.
Sure. Tony competed in Napoli, but it's not easy to win there as a non-Neapolitan.
In Naples, you don't go into Naples, and Neapolitans only win in Naples, period. It's a different kind of pizza, and even at the World Championships in the Neapolitan category, there's only about 20 guys that compete. But when you go to Naples, it's very different. It's very hard. It sounds easy, La Margherita I just described, but how you make and you cook it in a 900-degree oven for no more than 90 seconds. The pizza has to be 11.5 to 13 inches, has to be so much of a height. Everything has to be pushed out by hand, and the equal amounts of product on there. It's very, very hard. It's the hardest competition. Okay.
Having studied and competed throughout Italy, I asked Tony how much of the language he understood.
A little bit, yeah, okay. Very little. Enough to know when they're talking about my wife or talking shit about me.
So Tony decided to open his new restaurant in San Francisco.
And I was searching for about a year and a half where to put this new restaurant, and here we are now. So it's been a pretty big adventure, and we really wanted to bring the world's best pizza to San Francisco. Why not do it in North Beach?
The place has a great look. They took the original and then they refurbished it, did a wonderful job with the dining room, put in marble tabletops everywhere, and they added a wood-fired oven that's open to the room.
I ended up bringing out that kitchen a little bit, so we have an exposed wood-burning oven. We have a showcase kitchen that's pretty unique, so we built that open kitchen. So if you're walking down the street, you'll see that fire rolling, and you'll see that, me usually, or like Audrey, she's my pizzaiola that works up front.
Now, this restaurant's whole idea is an ambitious project, as Tony offers pizzas baked in 4 different types of ovens, each specially crafted for a certain style of pizza. He offers the classic Naples wood-fired pizzas. He offers Italian styles brought here from all over the boot, the thicker Sicilian style, plus they offer strombolis and calzones, and they bake their own delicious breads, too. We had some of the ciabatta, dipped it in a ramekin of olive oils. Oh, man, as good as it gets. And Tony's has a lot of classic American pizzas on the menu as well.
Yeah, Neapolitan, Sicilian, classic Italian, classic American. And then under those we have some subcategories as New Haven style, Jersey style, New York style. So our New Haven style is cooked in the back of our wood-burning oven. It's almost to 1,000 degrees in the back of that oven. And you're going to get a charred pizza like you'd get in Jersey at Pepe's. And it would be a nice charred bottom, thin, with some nice fresh clams that we bring in from. That's the New Haven style, that you get in Pepe's. Then the Jersey style is sliced mozzarella built on similar to Trenton, Di Lorenzo's in Trenton. Di Lorenzo's, the original tomato pies. Our pizza on our Jersey style is called the original tomato pie. It's based on a place in Trenton, and it's pretty much every guy that stepped in here from Jersey has said this is spot on. I can't believe he did it. We have a pizza called the Bronx. We do some nice thin New York styles. You fold it, it cracks, it drips. A lot of New Yorkers love it too.
Now, the bar in this building was always a special spot, and Tony and his staff are highlighting that part of the business too.
Really in the front of the house, what I wanted to get a manager and a bar manager, because that bar is beautiful. Do you know that bar?
Yeah, I love the bar.
So what was big for me is on this side of it, we're doing artisan pizza. I wanted it to be as artisan in the bar as it was the pizza. So when we did that, it was really important for me to pick the right bartenders or bar staff that can handle that. Freshly squeezed juices, we make our own grenadine, we make our own mixers. So a lot of that was really important. I mean, you see grapefruits at the bar, you see the limes, you see the lemons, you see everything. Everything's squeezed to order. And you should see our drink menu. I mean, we got mixologists there, and they'll just tell you where this drink started, where it came from. But we also have drinks like the classic Negroni. That's our drink. That should be a staple in North Beach. So we have a classic Negroni, and we'll tell you the story about Count Negroni and why it's called a Negroni. And they know that, and you'll get that experience at the bar as much as you get it in the dining.
At lunch, my friend Brian Cooley and I tried the classic margarita. Baked in the wood-fired oven, it had a delicious thin crust with tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella, fresh basil, and olive oil. We also tried the New Jersey-style original tomato pie with Italian sausage. Not only was the pizza delicious, but we also tried their meatballs and marinara. Oh, the best compliment I can give is they were as close to the ones my wife makes as I've ever tasted, and she makes the best meatballs, bar none. And Tony's offers garlicky, deep-fried, fresh string beans tossed in olive oil. I'm telling you right now, mouth-watering. Now, Frank Cola from Gino and Carlos sat next to us at a table, and they started with calamari fritti and a platter of prosciutto with burrata. It's a rich Italian cheese made from mozzarella and cream. Both looked amazing, but one more bite and I would have popped. Now, with so many choices on the menu and so many styles and different cooking times, it's got to be one hell of a task to get all of the different pizzas out to the table at the right time.
And you get these wise guys that order every single style. Yeah, to be a foodie and probably be a prick. But, and then they want it out at the same time. You can't stagger it. We're pretty nonchalant here. We're kind of relaxed. So we say, would you like them staggered? You want to start with a margarita first and progress up? No, we want it at the table at the same time. So that's when you got an expediter that has to really make sure those items are coming out all at once.
So why should someone go to Tony's with all the other choices to eat in San Francisco?
We really wanted to bring the world's best pizza to San Francisco. Why not do it in North Beach? Here, it's pizza at its best. It's totally different, and no one's really doing this, in the city. And not that many people are doing it in probably the world.
So when you're in the city by the bay, head down to North Beach and let Tony Gemignani take you on a pizza trip around the world. I highly recommend a visit to Tony's Pizza Napoletana. Or better yet, make a couple of trips, because there's no way you can sample all of the great pizzas in one meal. You'll explode trying.